What is the difference between saying a video game is failing in my eyes, for whatever reason, versus a video game is dying? Think about that for a second, because that's going to be the running theme in this video. Fortnite is dying. The top reasons why Fortnite is dying. The death of Fortnite. Fortnite is still dying.
When I say Fortnite is dying, I'm saying that it's in a regressive state and losing players. When I say Fortnite is dying, I'm saying that it's in a regressive state and losing players.
Wait, what? I thought Fortnite was doing pretty good. And what I mean by pretty good is that Fortnite is the #1 most played, most watched game on the planet, which would quite literally be the opposite of failing. Isn't that pretty well known by now? Well, maybe it was all a hoax. Let's see what we can dig up. Well, after about 5 seconds of Google searching, I found the latest data. And here's the Cliff Notes. The Fortnite phenomenon shows a little sign of abating as its developer Epic Games announced that August was the Battle Royale game's biggest month yet, with 78.3 million players logging in to play across all platforms. 78.3 million players logging in. Biggest month yet. But wait a second. Aren't people saying that Fortnite is dying? This doesn't add up. Let's go ahead and do some investigative journalism. Let's do some double checking, shall we? We should expect that earlier in the year, we should see more active players since Fortnite is quote unquote dying, right? Well, let's take a look. June 2018, 40 million players. Well, if Fortnite was dying, shouldn't there be less players now than there was in June of 2018? Well, let's check these sources. Maybe they're just phony, right? It's possible that this website has nothing to do with Epic Games, right? So wait a second. It's actually growing? I don't understand. When I created Did It Fail in February of last year, I did so with the intent of bringing the industry a snapshot of how a game did. Did it fail or did it succeed? So how do you measure that? You measure it, of course, with data, facts, player counts, sales, and financial information obtained from proper sources. I always made sure to leave my opinion mostly out of it because the numbers, they tell the story. My Did It Fail series is my most popular format, and it's been replicated by so many people on the internet out there, and some of them don't measure the game in an objective way. That's fine. You can still say a game failed all you want because it's your opinion, and a game may very well indeed fail in your eyes for any number of reasons. Maybe you didn't like the gameplay. Perhaps it's got a problem with DRM, it's got micro-gambling that you don't like, or maybe you just don't like it, period. But saying a game is dying is a statement that measures the success of a game's player count, for the most part. If a game is dying, that means people are leaving, player bases are declining, the games are taking longer to find, and that the game is objectively in jeopardy of supplying its audience with the means of playing the game, i.e. servers, infrastructure, support. So is Fortnite dying, would you say? A game can't be dying just because you don't like it, because for every one of you, there's another person that might like it. Maybe 10, 20, or even 100 people take your place when you quit. A game isn't objectively dying just because you don't like Bloom or would prefer a more realistic shooting setup, especially a game that has a target audience of, most likely, 16-year-olds or under. To that point, a game may be growing even though you don't like it. It is unfair to a game to make public statements like this based off this measurement, because a game dies if it objectively dies, not just because you say so. So when I browse YouTube and see videos all the time that Fortnite is dying, still dead, dead by rights, I get really upset because honestly it's not true. In fact, Fortnite is growing as I showed you earlier. So not only are these panic-style cash-in videos not correct, they are literally the opposite of correct. I'm not even a Fortnite player, and you don't really have to be to analyze the state of a game in an objective capacity. That's because the state of a game depends not on opinion or speculation, it's on how many sales the game made, how profitable its in-game store is in this case, how much support the game is getting, and how stable or growing the player base is. Judging by the wealth of content available since the start of the year, the hugely increasing player counts, which are active players as specified by Epic Games, and the overall profitability of the game, it is incredibly foolish to say that Fortnite is dying, downright insulting to the game makers. Making blanket statements like these based off of speculation and self-righteous opinions is only slandering a product under the pretense of false claims, ones that are made to persuade audiences that the game is objectively failing by using subjective critique. You can make videos all day long saying a game failed, but you cannot make videos saying that a game is dying unless it's actually dying. I thought I would provide this video as a counterpoint to the popular trend now, which is to make instead a video on Fortnite's death while slapping a large red arrow pointing towards the ground. The only thing that would do is continue the fairy tale that was created to cash in on the hysteria of subjective information. And this is without the need to go into the fact that each of these Fortnite is dying videos are specifically targeting game mechanics and design decisions for the reason of its decline. You can watch them yourself. It's basically someone talking about how they don't like Bloom, or how they didn't like a patch that altered the way their favorite gun worked. Does that mean a game is in trouble of hitting the early graveyard? That players are leaving? Not at all. This is opinion and shouldn't be masquerading as a target dummy to justify that the world is quote-unquote giving up on Fortnite because it's dying. And that's because it's not. Thanks for watching my video today, guys. I'm not trying to call out anyone in particular. I'm calling out the general trend of misrepresenting games in our culture, specifically the objective state of said game. Because I have made these mistakes too. As a creator, I've put out a few videos that were objectively steering towards some narrative supported by my own opinions, and I've learned not to do that anymore. So I just wanted to make this video today to highlight a problem of slandering the reputations of games when the narrative points to, well, this game is objectively dying, when in fact it's being supported by just some guy's opinion. Like I said before, you can say a game failed all you want. You could back it up with your opinions or sales if you really want to. But saying a game is physically dying is a massive statement that needs to be supported by facts. So that's pretty much my take on things. I think it's one thing to be like, you know what, I think this game failed because X, Y, or Z, right? These reasons are why I think the game failed. It's another boat over here sailing on a completely different ocean to say, you know what, this game is dead or dying. You gotta have data to back up those claims because those claims are inherently cut, dry, and incredibly objective. As laid out in this video, Fortnite's not dying. We all know that by now. It's actually the most popular game on the planet. I just think that maybe some people on the internet like to profit from this hysteria that honestly is a fairy tale make-believe story. And if you're one of those people out there that has spearheaded or supported putting this game in this spotlight and kind of painting this picture, then, well, you're not doing the industry any favors. The only thing you're doing is wrongfully bastardizing a game that is literally doing the opposite of what you're claiming. So that's it for today, guys. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a fantastic day, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Take care until then.